Hello, YouTube live stream. I'm on here to share Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2 about being a living sacrifice for Jesus Christ. A living sacrifice. Living. Okay? Living. So I thank y'all for tuning in to this, okay? And this scripture is talking about the mindset. Okay? To have that relationship with Jesus Christ, you gotta let Jesus Christ renew your mind. Yep. Yep. That's what I'm on here to share. It's a daily renewal, a daily renewal, a daily renewal. Yep, daily. So I thank y'all for tuning in to this message. Here we go. Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2. Yep. Romans 12:2 is awesome. Here we go. Romans 12:2. It says in Romans 12:2, a living sacrifice. Therefore, I urge you, brother and sister, in the view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true proper worship. You know what true worship is? True worship is to give yourself over to Jesus Christ. Okay? That's what true worship is. What you see Sunday morning at church, okay? What you see Sunday morning, what them doing at church, that's not really worship. Singing on the stage, and that's not worship. That ain't worship. What you see Sunday morning, okay? Worship is more than music and instruments. It's more than microphones. This is what true worship is. It says right here in Romans 12:2, a living sacrifice. Therefore, I urge you, brother and sister, in the view of God's mercy, offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true proper worship. So your true worship is giving yourself over to Jesus Christ. That's what true worship is. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you be able to test and prove what is God's perfect will. If you want to know what God's perfect will is for you, got to let God renew your mind and transform your thinking. You got to let Jesus transform your mindset. If you want to find out what God's will is, you got to spend time with Jesus Christ. You got to spend time with Jesus Christ. If you want to know what God's perfect will is, you got to spend time in prayer and be quiet. And for prayer to be effective, Jesus Christ needs to be speaking back to you out of his word. A lot of people like to over talk Jesus Christ. They don't listen. For prayer to be effective, Jesus Christ needs to be speaking back to you. So if you want to know what his will is for you, you got to spend time in his word and listen to what he say. Okay? So to be a living sacrifice is to giving yourself over to Jesus Christ, letting Jesus Christ transform your mindset. How do you do that? You can meditate on Romans 12:2. Meditating on Romans 12:2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world. The way that this world thinking is no good. The world's thinking, the human thinking is no good. When you get into a relationship with Christ and you let Christ change you, you can have that Christ mindset. Okay? Letting Jesus Christ transform your mindset. Only Jesus Christ can transform somebody's thinking. We can't do it. Don't be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind as you meditate on Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2 is so encouraging. It talks about worship in her, and it talks about renewal of the mind. Okay, to have a transformed and renewed mind. Meditate on, I pray you would meditate on Romans 12:2. Romans 12:2. This whole scripture is so encouraging. This scripture is talking about worship, what worship means, and it's talking about the mindset. Letting God transform your mindset. Transform. Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world. Be transformed. To be transformed by the renewing of your mind. To be transformed. To let God transform and renew your mind. Only Jesus Christ can transform and save, and change somebody's mind. Only he can change your mindset when you meditate on Romans 12:2. Bye-bye.